topic today kind of piggybacks on our last episode. This episode, however, is musical artists that are genres unto themselves.
Oh, wow.
And what do we mean when we say genres unto themselves?
That's a good question. Because I think there are a couple of artists that aren't on the list that will probably put them.
Yeah, okay.
So anyway, to me, these are artists that you don't necessarily think of a particular genre so for instance, if I say Van Halen, you think rock.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If I say AC/DC, you think rock. Right?
Yeah, rock, but yeah.
Right. That's just really what you think, right? However, when I say somebody like Randy Newman and Short People and some of the songs that he's done, what do you think of? You know what I'm saying? It's like nothing really comes to your mind when you think about somebody like that, like a Tom Waits. Oh, wait, those are, that was not a good time.
You keep going to get some hate mail for that one. Don't do that.
Yeah, but
Don't do that.
But you guys got it, right? I mean, so all I'm saying is that I don't know where to place that particular type of artist.
Okay.
It's sort of
category?
Like,
would it be categorized if you're going into a record store to buy a record?
Yeah. Where would you
call it up the
put
radio
that?
station? What genre?
Where do you really kind of put that?
Yeah,
It was sort of like when you think about just a song, and a song would be like, "Don't worry, be happy." When that, it's a type of song where it comes out and it's a hit and it's all, but what the hell was that? Now I know Bobby McFerrin is a jazz artist, and that the majority of his songs kind of fall in that bucket.
So it would probably end up under jazz.
And yeah, that does, but I'm saying that song standing by itself was almost a genre within itself. And so that's kind of where we're going with that.
Okay, so we have a list of approximately 6, but like you said, we probably could squeeze in a few more.
Right.
But the number one person that I've been asking our daughter about since we first heard them, and she cannot give me an answer, and I've heard this question not be answered by a lot of people, is 21 Pilots.
Right.
I mean, it's rap, it's alternative, it's... But where do you...
It's pop.
It's pop, right. It's indie.
Right.
So where, if I'm going to find it in the record store, other than just looking for their name, what section would I find it in?
And it probably will throw them in an alternative section, but it's sort of like... It's sort of like, but they don't necessarily neatly fit there.
No.
They just really don't.
No.
So...
But you know them when you hear them.
Right.
So I guess that's part of the second part of this whole thing about not knowing where to put the music is also when you hear something that they're on or that they've done, that you identify that
it neatly fits them.
Yes.
It fits as who they are.
Right.
And it's sort of like, to me, that the Beatles kind of grew into that. Meaning that I think the Beatles were a rock band. But there are songs like Eleanor Rigby or Yesterday that kind of started to really redefine the genre of rock and roll, and they started to really transcend just being a rock band. Because I think it was Yesterday was the only song that I think Paul McCartney was the only Beatle that actually played on that record. All the rest of it is, it's him playing acoustic guitar, of course singing, but then, the rest are just strings.
Okay, right.
And so, and I don't think no Beatle played on Eleanor Rigby.
Okay, wow.
And so, that's one of those type of things. And you guys let me know if I'm wrong about that, so. You trolls out there, if there are any trolls, let me have it on that one, please do.
So it sounds like you're putting the Beatles on our list?
No, I think the Beatles, they're kind of odd just simply because of where they fall.
They've influenced so much. Is that what you're
They've
saying?
influenced so much, and they shaped so much about the genre that it's kind of hard to even put the Beatles there.
Okay, so they're scratching them from the list.
So.
The 21 Pilots was our first one.
Yeah.
Our second one we talked about a little bit in the last episode. If you didn't see episode 65, you probably want to see that or hear it. But this person, you hear her, and you automatically know what genre. I mean, you automatically associate it with her, the genre with her.
Yeah.
It is Joni Mitchell.
Joni Mitchell, and I don't. Some people may say, well, she's a folk artist, and again, I know that's what she's classified.
Right.
But I don't think that the music that she does or has done over the vast career that she's had neatly fits in that
Yeah, because I know the Lakota album. I love the Chalk Mark in the Rain. So I love that album. And it was the Native American meets the...
She's not, what you would call just a folk artist.
Yeah.
She's not just Pete Seeger.
Yeah.
I mean, she's one of those, again, she's a transcendent type of artist, who, spun songs like The River that has now just become a staple Christmas song that's covered by everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, and so, exactly. I mean, she's just that type of artist. I mean, and again, to me, I hear Joni Mitchell as being one of those. She's just a genre to herself.
Yeah.
She does her thing, and it's just one hears such sounds and one
it says Joni. I say drop the mic, right?
Right.
And again, somebody we talked about on the previous episode who you really can't associate her with a particular genre is Kate Bush.
Yeah, Kate Bush. Same type of thing. Yeah.
You just know it's her. It feels like her.
Right. You know her voice. You know what she does. And so regardless of maybe whatever genres she's mixing or she's traversing into, she turns it into something that is uniquely hers and her own. And so that's why we say they're kind of artists who are genre within themselves, because even when they're doing a song that's allegedly a part of a particular genre, it still is unequivocally them. And so that's the thing to me. So it's sort of like the genre is never, it cannot work to hold them. It cannot work as any type of restriction. So
I like that. I had to use that one. Another one which we've been getting over the years, and so when people say that we sound like this person, we're like, where, in what lane still does it fit, is Prince. Because Prince did rock, Prince did rap, Prince did funk, Prince did a little reggae in there.
Blue Light.
Right.
He's
done a little bit of everything.
And a little
just
bit
regular R&B, ballads. So, and most people just pinch off a piece of Prince. So we always ask, like, what piece, if you're comparing us to him, which piece? And a lot of times we do a genre blending.
Right.
So that's where we kind of fall out with the Prince,
right. And
the Prince comparison.
And it's so weird because, even during the 80s, which was, kind of a synth pop era, we still had something called the Minneapolis Sound, which was a way to try to define the music that Prince was producing, because, Prince's music, like you just said, I mean, it was new wave. It was, it hit in so many of these different areas, but, at the same token, it was just always Prince.
Right. Folk, I mean, you name it.
Right. But it was always a Prince way of doing it.
Yeah.
And so to me, he again is one of those type of artists. I don't know if you call him an R&B artist. I don't know if you call him a pop artist. I don't know if you call him a rock star.
Right.
I don't, because Prince was a great, solo lead guitarist. He could do that stuff. But to me, where I thought Prince really shined was his rhythm guitar work. I mean, like the funky stuff that he did, it was just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, so, and rhythmically, I mean, and I think that was always the current for Prince throughout all his stuff, is just how tight, he was rhythmically. Just unbelievable.
Another person on the list we consider, because we just went to the concert,
right?
And people ask, well, what type of music do they play? And it's hard for me to categorize. Is Bela Fleck and the Flecktones?
Yeah,
we got the banjo, we got the harmonica. Of course, there's Future Man playing his instrument that's a rhythm drum machine that looks like a guitar. So, and what they put together, the timings, the melodies, it just turns into again, I know it when I hear it, but
right.
I can't neatly put that under jazz.
Right. I mean, is it bluegrass? I mean, what is
right.
it? I mean, it's bluegrass meets jazz meets a little bit
right.
funk, it's a little, and a lot of times it's sort of like when we start thinking about jazz fusion, it was always thought of in a certain particular type of way.
Right.
And it's not that, I mean, you could say it's closer to that, but you just never heard it before.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you hear it, it wouldn't fit.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so again, I think they are a genre within themselves because they traverse territories that, other artists just haven't done that.
And I think part of it is the instrumentation because of the banjo being front and center a lot of times in the harmonica with the more jazzy elements.
The thing I like about Bela Fleck is the way he lets every member of the band, the Flecktones, kind of shine through.
Yeah.
And, so although they're called Bela Fleck and the Flecktones, they're almost like the Flecktones because it's sort of like each one, has their moment to kind of bathe in the spotlight. Throughout.
I enjoyed that. That was really good with the concert.
Yeah, I mean, he's very good at allowing all of the instrumentalists to have, their own canvas in which to draw and express themselves. So, I give credit.
I love it. Another group that goes on the list because they mish and mash a lot of different things, which I guess would be along the same lines as Bela Fleck, but in a different way, is Hiatus Kyote.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, there are other groups I think that probably kind of fall a bit in the same lane with them.
Like Detroit.
Well, I was thinking more like Wolfpack and, and Lettuce and some of these other kind of funky jam bands. But what they don't have that Hiatus Kyote has are the vocals. And the guitar playing and the way that she does it. So it really it's the lead singer and guitar player from Hiatus Kyote that I think kind of takes them to a whole different.
Because she's got that Chaka Khan sound and lead.
Yeah, that she kind of throws on top of that kind of jazzy. It's a weird mix that they kind of pull together, but it's really, really great. I mean, and the way that she does it with the guitar, it's like her and the guitar, they're one. She's truly at one with her instrument. Both the guitar and the vocal.
Right.
and the way that she mirrors them together. So
And one last one that I'll add that was not originally on our list that we kind of talked about in the last episode was Bjork. Only because she is. Yeah. You know her when you hear her.
Yeah, but you can never quite say that this is what she is.
Right.
She's not this type of.
Right. Only thing you can say is, I guess, experimental. Right. But what is that?
Yeah, I mean, that's
amorphous, right?
It's like calling somebody a pop artist. I mean, a pop artist to me is just somebody who's making music that is popular today. Right. Or whatever period it is. I mean,
but that changes because it may be a song that's a country song that's top of the charts, which makes it popular.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, or it may be a rap song that makes it top of the charts. That makes it popular. So that really isn't a genre. Right. It is just a categorization for the ones that have ascended to the top.
Right. Yeah.
To be popular.
Yeah.
All right. Well, who do you think we should add to the list of musical artists that are genres unto themselves? Right. Perhaps you have some ideas that we haven't even thought of yet, or introduce us to somebody who would qualify.
Yeah, we'll kind of hit this list, of artists who is very difficult to kind of say that they're a particular genre. And again, I don't knock artists who you can't put into a particular genre. Or there are certain artists that kind of stick out because you never can kind of get a grasp for
and that's kind of our jam, so we kind of gravitate to artists that but again there's Bob Dylan who's a straight up what to expect, and we still love him. So
I still love Brush and some of the other ones too. And I'll be honest with you, I hate some of the ones that I can just put in a category too. I mean, it bores me to death. Right. So I'll admit to that part too. I'm not gonna walk away from having an opinion. I mean, we do have an opinion. There are certain artists I do not like. Yeah. All right, and that's just the way it is. You know what I mean? And there's nothing. Hey, every artist is not gonna be a jam. That's just it. So.
What's coming up is London.
Yep, London. So we'll be doing that in
about a month.
About a month. Yeah. So,
oh wow.
And as we said before, kind of let us know if you know of some places that we can get some funky clothes.
Check out some musical equipment.
Instruments, stuff like that. Let us know if there's some places that's kind of rocking in London that you think y'all have some great guitars.
Or maybe even some great bands playing. I mean, hey.
Yeah, let us know about that too.
We're looking for the 360 experience for music, for
really
enjoying life.
Yeah, want to check it out. Want to try to get to Liverpool.
Yes, and Stonehenge. Oh my goodness, we got to vibe with the whatever the spirits are at Stonehenge.
Right.
Yeah, might even write a song there.
Yes.
But we'll be vlogging for you either way. Again, we can't say it enough. If you dig the vibe, make sure you
subscribe.
As always, we're wishing you love, peace, and
chicken grease.
Yay.